Welcome to Tea Party HD. Today we have the hottest news. We're talking about the Supreme Court nominee Elena Kagan, U.S. Senator Scott Brown rejecting yesterday's bill, Tommy LaRussa and his thoughts on the Tea Party, Governor Brewer of Arizona opposing the border signs, and Sharia law versus our Constitution with expert Bill Warner. Solicitor General Elena Kagan is going to be confirmed, but the rhetoric and questions still continue at the Senate hearings. Since we are talking a little bit about Sharia law today, let's hear a little bit about how it even reached her at Harvard, where she was the dean of the law school.
And now information has come to light suggesting that Ms. Kagan may even have been less morally principled in her approach than has been portrayed. Around the same time that Dean Kagan was campaigning to exclude military recruiters, citing what she saw as the evils of don't ask, don't tell, Harvard University accepted $20 million from a member of the Saudi royal family to establish a center for Islamic studies and Sharia law.
Today, Democrats appeased Massachusetts U.S. Senator Scott Brown, and he scored a major victory by forcing Democrats to drop a controversial $19 billion bank tax after the freshman republic threatened to withhold his support for a giant financial overhaul bill.
Do some breaking news from Capitol Hill. Our Peter Cook is there, and he has some news that may affect the Wall Street overhaul vote. Peter, what have you learned?
This breaking news from Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown, one of the Republicans who backed the original legislation, was on the fence on this final version of the legislation after learning of this bank tax contained within the conference report. Other than a bank tax, he suggests cutting federal spending. He suggests that there is ample revenue there.
It looks like celebrities are getting in on the Tea Party. St. Louis Cardinals manager Tony LaRussa welcomed the Tea Party, where about 50 members of the St. Louis Tea Party supported the Arizona Bill 1070 and Governor Brewer. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
Hey, this is America, right? You're supposed to be able to have opinions and disagree, and a lot of things they do that I think are correct. I'm actually supportive of what Arizona's doing. You know, people don't fix your problem, government doesn't fix, national government doesn't fix your problem, and they got the problem, they got to take care of it themselves. I mean, it's just part of the American way. You agree, you disagree. What's the problem? No problem.
As Arizona continues to heat up, Brewer has just about had it with the government's lack of effort, even with a promise of 524 guard coming and hopefully part of a $600 million budget that has been pleaded for by the government. Official John Brennan talked to about 70 local, state, and federal officials about the Tucson sector. As we reported, it is nothing more than a cattle fence for miles and miles. It's totally porous. Let's hear what the governor has to say.
2 weeks ago, I met with President Obama. He promised that we would get word from his administration on what they were going to do to secure the border. Well, we finally got the message. These signs calling our desert an active drug and human smuggling area. These signs warning people of danger and telling them to stay away. I'm 80 miles away from the border and only 30 miles away from Arizona's capital. This is an outrage. Washington says our border is as safe as it has ever been. Does this look safe to you?
Now, let's get to the hot topic of the day, Sharia law, where Phil and expert Bill Warner talk about Sharia law versus the U.S. Constitution.